This is the lightning talk session. So we have put out a list and we have 4 subscriptions. The rules are 7 minutes, 0 seconds. But my talking doesn't count for that. So, that's good. So I want to make Tim going to start and have fun. Tim is going to speak about Raspberry Pi Squeak.
Raspberry Pi. Okay. Probably a lot of people have heard of the Raspberry Pi Foundation and the excitement that this teeny-weeny little computer has caused. I'll pass it round, but I think keep it in the anti-static just in case there's no one carpet and all that kind of thing. That is a gigahertz ARM 11, basically the same CPU setup that was in the first 2 or 3 iPhones. Half a gig RAM, Ethernet, USB, HDMI video, GPIO lines, analog and digital output and so on. You can plug Arduino shields, that kind of stuff onto it. So, and all for the stunningly expensive price of $35. So, it runs anything that you can fit on the SD card and plug in. So, many versions of Linux. This particular one, that SD card has got RISC-OS on, and I'll happily demo that to anyone that's interested. I'll just pass it around and poke at it, but try not to blow it out for me. So my involvement is I'm working for the Pi Foundation on speeding up Squeak and Scratch. And the official word from Evan Upton, who's the capo di tutti capo of the foundation, is that we are fully committed to making the Pi a first-class small-talk machine. So, given the number of them that are selling, and the places they are largely selling to, I'm going to guess that roughly 50% get turned straight away into XBMC sort of media machines, you know, Apple TV, Google TV kind of things. But certainly around half of them are going to schools where kids from the ages of like 5 up to 18 are being introduced to using computers for something other than updating Facebook pages. Part of the story of the creation of that is that Cambridge University were getting applicants for their degree courses that really did think that having a smart Facebook page qualified them as a skilled computer science student that should get into Cambridge University. And I mean the real Cambridge, not the fake one on the East Coast. So, Scratch has been a part of this system for a while, and for those of you that don't know, Scratch is a graphical programming language set up mostly aimed at kids, but really the idea of it is to enable you to program without having to know a great deal of how to type complicated stuff.
Note the great use of color.
Yeah, the color is actually pretty bad on the screen. It's these are supposed to be orange, not sort of baby crap brown.
It's the monitor.
Yeah. So you can do simple things like assembling program fragments like that. And it has got all the basic control structures that you would imagine. It's got ability to move sprites around. Nothing exciting that a quick demo like that's going to do. It can sense things like, is a certain color touching another color? So what Dan was demonstrating earlier with that rotating gears demo, that trick of if the blue is touching the green, then rotate the other gear, all that kind of stuff works. It can make some fairly sophisticated sounds, and I doubt that this has got sound out, to be honest. No, sadly.
Yeah, there was something.
Yeah. If anybody's an expert at ALSA sound driver MIDI stuff, come and have a word with me because it doesn't work on Unix. The pre-canned demos and so on that they provide range from the range from the trivial to the alarmingly sophisticated and compute-consuming. And I'll point out that a week and a half ago, that demo would have been running sort of stutter.
That's pretty snappy.
And one of the key works we've been doing is speeding up bitlit by writing it very, very specifically for the ARM. I've got a guy in Cambridge in England that has done some quite astonishing things in the past with ARM graphics, and we've got many of the bitlit rules running about 10 times faster than the simple bitlit implementation that normally comes with Squeak. And again, about a week ago, this was running at about 7 frames a second if you were lucky, and was essentially unplayable because you'd fall asleep.
You're still missing.
Yeah, I know. That's because I'm crap at video games and always was. But as an example, that shooting into the corner has been used as a rough and ready benchmark for a while now, and that used to take 3.5 seconds. And that explosion used to take 10 seconds or so. So, in between, with the bitlit graphics speed up that Ben has been doing, and the basic execution mechanism speed ups that I've been doing to actually use object-oriented principles as opposed to if-then-else's, which seemed like a bit of a shame to leave in a small talk system. That's now running at 28 frames a second instead of 7. And you won't be surprised to know that it runs Squeak Small Talk tolerably well, but it's going to get a lot better.
Have you mapped any of the I/O abstractions into Scratch at all? Like to be able to access, say, a parallel pin to make a light
Oh,
come
yes.
by?
Scratch has got all the stuff in there to talk to the pins and the what is it? We do or Wemo motors, the Lego stuff.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can. Let me turn it off politely. It's always a good idea to turn Unixes off politely, otherwise they come and bite you later. Okay. Well, sounds fine. Right, you can take over the screen while I dismantle this.
I would have preferred to see more of that.